Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another session of reflections. It's truly been a really it's been a difficult week. Very people have been inflamed, and it's just been a very emotional, very turbulent, very troubling, very reflective. It's all kinds of angry or anger. Um, Sense of helplessness, sense of hopelessness, uh, frustration. It's just so many emotions that have been rolled, together as one, and it's tearing us apart. However, because it's reflections, because it's your good news time, your good news spill, I believe I have a word of comfort for us this morning. For all of us who are hurting because of the continued blood shedding being committed against the blacks in this country, in America, the systemic discrimination that continues, the oppression, the demeaning of human life. It is a difficult time, and it's especially frustrating because we seem to go from one episode of an innocent black person being killed to another. Every time we think we've seen the last of it, we've seen the worst that can happen, and then something like what has happened in the last 1 month comes up, where somebody is suffocated, and he's saying, "I can't breathe." And even when after being lifeless for over 2 minutes, that knee is still on his neck to ensure that the execution is done and completely done. Or somebody being shot in their home. I won't go into all that this morning. I want to say that we do have an issue. I remember many years ago, my children were still teenagers. It was that time in their life when they wanted to do their stuff themselves. So I said, fine. Whenever I will buy them stuff, they will be, "I don't like this shirt, I don't like this shoe," and I don't like, I like buying. If I buy something, I want to buy something that is good quality. I rather buy one thing of good quality than 5 things that, are not of high quality. So I said, I can't continue to waste my money. It's not as if I have that much money. So I said, okay, whatever I have to do, if you're shopping, I'll give it to you. You can go and buy whatever you like. But when it's finished, it's finished. I'm not giving you any extra penny. So, well, of course, they started. One of those days, they said they wanted to go to the mall. I said, fine. And 2 of them, I think the older one was about 13 and the other about 11. So they went to the mall, and then they came back, and they were shaking to the core. What happened? What's going on? They said they bought something in the store, and as they left, the security person in the mall came after them and accosted them and said they had stolen. And they gave her the bag of what they had bought, just a small shopping bag. It wasn't anything much. I don't even know what it was. Maybe it was a t-shirt or something. And they showed her the receipt. She still wouldn't, she still grabbed them. I mean, these were little children. Took them back to the store. The cashier at the store said, yes, they were here. They paid for this thing before she would let them go. So they came home. And they told me. I was so incensed. I put them in the car. I drove to the mall. I'm talking about some, this must have been nearly 20 years ago. I said, show her to me. You can't do such things anymore today. I don't know, maybe I would still have done such a thing today. I ran after her. The minute she saw me coming with those two children, she got into the patrol car and she raced away. I went, till today, I remember her face. I went into the mall, went to the information desk, said, this is what has happened. I'm making a report. Of course, they were just looking at me like, It wasn't important to them. These were little children. Fast forward another 10 or so years. One day we were talking at home and they started laughing. I mean, my kids were laughing at me. They were now adults, young men. They said, Mom, you don't know anything. They said one day they had gone out in the evening, both of them, with some other 3 friends in a car on the highway. The policeman pulled them over. Before you know it, they said he grabbed them out of the car, told them to face the car, put their hands on the car, put handcuffs on them. What did we do? And after running all their, whatever they run on their cop car, came back and said, the car looked like the car we are looking for. Already you had put handcuffs on them. Already you had run out and surrounded the car. You asked them to pull over, they pulled over. I have been lucky. With those 2 stories, I have been very lucky. I have been blessed. Personally, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, probably 2 years ago. Driving back home, I had gone to the office. On the highway, on 95, I was pulled over. Now I'm a female. I'm not a small girl. Pulled me over. For the life of me, I didn't know what was going on. They came around. I wasn't speeding. I hadn't driven my car dangerously. I never got an explanation. I was there. Let's look at, your insurance, whatever. They just asked me some silly questions. I don't even remember. I was shaking inside my car. I'm like, what is going on here? And then finally, he said, you can go. It was a 30-minute drive back home. I kept thinking to myself, why was I pulled over? Why was I pulled over? I probably was pulled over because of the kind of car I was driving that day. Having said that, how do we move forward in a situation like this where everyone now knows what is going on and nothing is being done? Nothing is being done. I want us to go back to the Bible. Oh, I know you are saying, we've been there too many times, we are tired, we are fed up. Yeah. We should be tired and fed up. Israel was in Egypt for over 400 years. Probably the first 100 years was okay. But by the last 200 years, life had become difficult for them. By the last 100, by the last 50, it was unbearable. And they began to cry to God. And God said, eventually the Lord said, I have heard the cry. I have seen the affliction. And I am come to deliver. Oh, that's why my black brothers and sisters say we don't want to hear about this Christianity business. We don't want to hear about it. We'll rather go and practice some other religion. Because the so-called Christians are the major perpetrators of this oppression. So when I'm reading the Bible to you this morning and I'm saying the children of Israel cried to God and God heard, I know my black brothers and sisters are saying, we don't want to know about the God of the Bible. I want you to know about the God of the Bible. Because the God of the Bible is the true God. If so-called Christians out there who are supposed to advocate for you are not doing that, it's not the fault of the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible will bring judgment. The God of the Bible will deliver you, deliver us. The God of the Bible will fight our battle. Believe me, the oppressor's days are numbered. Over and over and over again, the Lord warned Pharaoh, let my people go. And Pharaoh refused. But one night God said, enough is enough. And I believe that we have reached that tipping point in this country. My black brothers and sisters, I'm not racist. Believe me, I'm not racist. But I hate injustice. I have absolutely no apologies to anyone when it comes to issues of injustice. You cannot be a Christian and tolerate injustice or keep quiet in the face of injustice. Because righteousness and justice are the scepters of his throne. Righteousness and justice are the scepters of the throne of the Lord Jesus. You cannot be a Christian and see people oppressed, see people abused, see people trampled on, see people killed, and trot out to church on a Sunday morning and pray. Or worse still, get behind a pulpit and preach. Really? The time for accounting has come. And like I said on Sunday, there will be an audit of every human life. Because every human being, regardless of the color of their skin, they carry the breath of God. God breathed into the clay he had molded And that thing that was ordinary clay received the breath of God, the Ruach of God, and became a living soul. Every time you take that life, you have touched God. We must be part of the solution. We must not excavate the situation. It's not the time to burn down businesses, loot. That is not going to solve our problem. It's time for us to eclipse the oppression, put it down. It's time for us to evaluate all that we have done to react and all we should be doing right now. We must sit back and evaluate. What is our current situation? What is our current strength? Who are the people that we have? It's the time to cry out to God. Because when we cry to God, He will hear. It's the time to pray. This is the time for us to inspire each other. And I want you to be inspired this morning. Black is beautiful. Black is strong. Believe me, we are strong. If we were not strong, there's no way we would have survived up till now. And I want you to look at the wonderful examples all around us. In entertainment, in sports, in industry, in government, in politics, in the judiciary, in the legislature, the legal profession, the medical profession, technology. Look at all the wonderful black people who have risen despite and in spite of every attempt to put them down. I celebrate all of you. Good job. We look up to you and we are inspired. It's our time to plan. Planning means we all come together, all of you, that somehow have been able to rise above the system and still excel. There must be collaboration. It's time to strategize. Have to come together, plan, have a strategy. And then that strategy must be fully executed. And that's why I said go out, register and vote. Join the political parties. Don't stay home. Any political party at all, join it. Change the conversation from the grassroots. The deliverer must come from amongst us, not from them. The deliverer came from amongst the children of Israel. We are not going to wait for their deliverance. The deliverer will come from amongst us. God always raises one like the oppressed to deliver the oppressed. The oppressor will never deliver the one he's oppressing. It's the oppressed who deliver the oppressed. We can talk till tomorrow till our faces turn blue. Well, we don't turn blue because we are black. But the deliverer will come from amongst us. It's time to collaborate. It's time to get into those political parties. And when you get in there, advocate for your people. Stop going about with them to have photo ops. Because there's a record that we will show to you, to your children, and to your children's children. This one sold out. Because believe me, Deliverance will come. And when it comes, if you are not part of the solution, but part of the problem, you will be held accountable because history will judge you. I have heard the cry of my people. I have seen their affliction, and I am come to deliver. We will evaluate. We will cry and pray to God. We will be inspired. We will plan. We will strategize. And we will execute. The deliverer will come from amongst us. We will not fail each other. God will help us. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I'll see you at the top. We are going there. We are going there. The answer to the oppressor is hard work. And we will continue to rise. It's Fumi Obilano. Reflections.